Hello, guys. Thank you very much for joining in. Hi, this is Ganesh Naik. I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career and become a better version of themselves. And I also guide students preparing for the FRM CF exam. I am back with one of my students who has been able to clear FRM level 2 exam in the November 2022 attempt. She's going to be talking about her journey, her way of preparation, and what was a way to which she was able to clear the exam. So, and again, we are doing all of these interviews just to make sure that people are preparing on their own. People who need motivation, they will get some guidance and motivation to clear the exam also. So, with this, let us start with the discussion. Samartha, thank you very much for joining in and taking out time. And with,
Thank
you will
you,
be
sir,
walking
for
us,
having me.
you'll be walking us through the journey. And this is the second interview. We did the first interview when you cleared July 2021
Yes.
exam
Yeah,
for FRM
yeah,
level 1.
yeah, yeah.
Now, after level 1 clearing, what happened after July 2021 clearing of the exam? What happened?
Yeah, so after July 2021, so I had some personal commitments because of which I could not start the preparation immediately after FRM results were out. So they were out somewhere around September, and your FRM part 2, that batch was to start from October 1st. So I could not join that, and I had enrolled for part 2 somewhere around mid December, and I had started studying market risk. Couple of initial chapters I studied, and then uh, as I had opted for your online videos, that series, but on weekends most of the time I was not able to attend because
Mhm.
I work in a private bank, and the pressure and the role that I am currently in, it is actually huge, and it's hectic. So
Okay.
it was not possible for me to attend all the online lectures on time. Most of, and in fact, all the lectures I would say is I have seen it in a recorded mode after the classes were over. Sometime when I had time, I looked at those. Uh,
Okay.
I had initially thought that I would appear for the exam in May 2022, but
Mhm.
again, due to um, office pressure, I could not give the time that one is supposed to dedicate to. And after discussing with you around March, I decided to go for November 2022.
So in March, when you took a decision, okay, I don't want to give the May, how much
Yeah.
content you had seen or how much portion you had read?
I had completed around 20 chapters from operational risk only. So that is what I had covered, and maybe 4 5 chapters from market risk. That is what
Okay.
I had actually covered properly. So
Then
I guess
when you
that's
decided March, I am not doing the exam,
yeah.
what happened after that?
So after March, so we have an annual submission. I currently lead the risk analytics and policy analytics of the bank, of the data science group. So we have an annual submission that spans across 3 months, mostly 3 months. Starts around mid-April and goes till June mid or July starting at times, because we do have external auditors on the campus.
Right.
And so during that time, what I could only do is on the public holidays or maybe on Saturday and Sundays, or wherever I had time, I studied. Maybe let's say if there's a 2 day break, I targeted that okay, I would finish 3 chapters per day, a total of around 5 to 6 chapters. But after that is over, again, once the week starts, once the weekday starts from one day, I did not get well, not even a minute to turn the pages or something like that. So again, next week on Saturday or Sunday, when I looked at that same chapter that I had completed, it appeared completely new to me. So again, back to square zero.
Okay.
I read
Okay.
those 5 chapters again. So there was lot of discontinuity or breaks till July 2022, starting of July 2022. And after that, I decided that I would go for I would approach the exam in a uh, in a oriented manner, as in the number of chapters versus the weightage it carries. I would work in that fashion rather than targeting to complete all the 100 chapters.
Okay.
So that is what I had initially thought, because that's the only way around. When
So by August end, so if I'm right, by August end you started your proper preparation.
yeah, somewhere around mid August. Yes,
Mid August. So
mid
which book
August.
you started with?
So I took up investment risk first, because that chapter had close to that book had 10 chapters, and the weightage it carried was 15%,
Okay.
whereas liquidity risk had 19 chapters and the weightage was same. So I
Okay.
took a call that I would start with investment risk, and yeah, I started with that book first.
Okay. And so you were able to do it in a proper manner, in the sense consistent preparation. And how much time you were
Yes,
giving
yes.
now from August mid onwards every single day?
Around 1 hour, 1.5 hours at max,
Okay.
either before I start the day or at the end of the day.
And what about question solving is solved along with the reading of that book?
I just solved the Svezer questions, and there was this practice book from Svezer.
Shweta.
There were two sets. That is what I did while I was reading the chapters to
Got it.
understand if I could solve the questions or not.
Got it. Got it. Now, after the investment, which book did you pick up?
After investment, I picked up credit risk. Now, because it has a large overlap with my role, I thought maybe those concepts I could relate to. And yeah, the next book that I picked up was credit risk.
So it also happened. You were also able to clear it properly. There was no
Yes, yes. Yeah.
disruption.
No.
After credit risk, again, which book you went to?
After credit risk, I picked up operational risk. I decided I would spend 15 days on operational risk, and whatever chapters I could complete, I would do, and it was a hard cutoff. There were around 30 chapters in operational risk, so I tried to complete, and I completed around 22 chapters. There were 8 odd chapters which I could not cover within my time slot. So
Okay.
once that 15-day time period was over, I did not spend time on those 8 chapters. I kept it towards the last, or maybe I would do it some other day where I could cover my scheduled targets. If there's some more time left, I would then pick up those 8 chapters.
Okay. So investment, credit, and operation. Now, when you completed till this book, what was the date, roughly date that you had reached?
It was around October 15th.
Okay. And you're
Cover two market risk, liquidity risk, and current issues had 6 to 7 chapters. So what I did was, after October 15th, as a bedtime reading, I read those pages of
got it.
current, because and that was very much theoretical. It was not. It did not have any quants in it. So I thought maybe if I just read those pages again and again till my exam, I would get it. So in that manner, I removed current issues from my schedule. So
Hmm.
in if you would see, I just had another 1 month. My exam was scheduled for November 23rd. So
Got
15th
it.
October to
Okay.
November.
So then you picked up market.
Yeah, I picked up market. Market took a little longer than I had expected.
So when were you able to complete that?
Around November 10th.
Okay. And then you picked up liquidity.
Okay, now while it was November 10th, mm, uh, I again decided that if I spend another 7 days reading something that is very new, I might not score on the chapters that I have already read. Again, this was a conscious call. What I tried to do was whatever I had read, whatever I had completed as of now, all those 5 books. I made a planner that uh, initial 3 days I would cover market risk. Next 3 days I'll cover credit risk. Next 4 days I would cover operational risk. So that is how I had planned my schedule from November 10th to November 10th to November 23rd. So since the exam is on 23rd,
Okay.
I had struck out 22 because 22 you just can't pick up any new stuff. So I had thought that every day I would read one chapter from liquidity risk, and if I'm able to cover, that's fine. If I'm not able to cover, I'll just let it go.
So did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, all those times I could not cover liquidity risk in the manner I had thought, and I just covered uh, merely 3 or 4 chapters from liquidity.
And you were on
That was the
holiday?
initial.
You were on
Yeah, yeah.
holidays?
I was on all.
Okay.
I was not working.
So now, when did you started then your liquidity book?
21st, to be very specific. I started liquidity on 21st. I covered 4 chapters. I was left with 15 more chapters.
And 23rd was the exam.
Yeah, 23rd was my exam.
And 22nd, what happened? You did liquidity?
22nd, yeah, I read liquidity again in a very calm and composed manner. And there were some concepts which I was not able to grasp. I did not spend time with because so in a chapter, I thought it was fine if I could grasp 80% as of that time. Whatever I did not understand, I made an effort, spend 5-10 minutes. If I were able to crack it, fair, else I moved.
You were able to complete all the chapters of liquidity during that day,
No,
22nd?
there were 4 chapters of liquidity risk that I could not cover. I had just read the summary page of those 4 chapters. The
What about
crisp concept that
okay?
were it. I had just read,
And
and
current
that is
issues?
what current issues. Since I was reading it every day and at the night, so I was able to cover it. There was no problem.
Okay. Okay. Now, when you so you solved any mock paper?
No, I had solved GARP's sample paper. I looked at it twice. Once while I was completing the modules during the holidays, and on 22nd towards the end of the day. I spent around 1 hour and I had a detailed look at the GARP sample paper.
Got it.
I,
Got
I
it.
tried I tried doing your intelligent question bank, but I just did not have the time,
Okay.
to do it and then complete the syllabus that I had already read. So
Got it. Got it. So now, when you went for the exam day, what happened in that first 1 hour?
in the first 1 hour, the questions, okay, I was expecting very difficult questions because that's what I had heard from everyone. But as soon as I saw the questions one by one, I was able to solve because there were 80 questions. So I had decided that it's okay if I complete 17 or 18 18 questions in the first hour. I think I'll have a good pace. And I did that. There was
Okay.
some, so I received around 20 to 25 quants, and rest of them were, sorry.
So quants you were able to solve properly? The formulas and all you were able to know.
Yes. Quants were pretty straightforward. In theory, most of the questions that I faced were, I was able to eliminate 2 options straight away. I was left with 2 options where you had to take a call.
Okay. Okay. And when you came out of the exam, okay, what was the number that was there in your mind that, okay, out of 80, I might get this much?
I was expecting somewhere around 55.
Okay. So that means the paper went well. So paper went well. And what about liquidity risk in
Yeah,
the paper?
okay. And the chapters that I had left, I got 2 questions. I had left around 4 chapters. I got 2 questions, and I just I eliminated two options because two I was straight away able to do that. Of the two, I just selected any one that I just felt like, because there were two. I could get it that they were from those chapters that I had left.
And the other questions, you were able to understand, okay, what was the concept? You are able to eliminate also for the liquidity risk.
Yes. Yeah. I was able to eliminate. I was not able to ascertain which would be the right option.
Achha. So there was some guess that you had to do over there.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Now, what has been the quadrant that you have got?
Uh, so in investment risk, I've got one. Operational risk, I've got three, and all other sections, I've got two.
So it's 2, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah.
That's the idea. Okay, so so market risk, credit risk, you got second quartile. Liquidity also, liquidity you got second. Economy got second quartile. Okay. On operation risk, which you gave 15 days, you got third quartile. Okay.
Yeah, I got third quartile. Quite surprising. I was expecting the reverse.
Okay, wonderful. And now, if I ask you, what would be 3 tips from your side to anybody who's preparing for level 2?
I would just say that you should read every day. You should maintain that consistency, even if it's for 30 minutes. Please read. It gets very difficult if you lose touch, which happened with me. I studied, let's say, 10 days ago, 3 chapters. After 10 days, when I just turned the pages of those chapters, all of them appeared very new to me. And I had to read again from scratch, look at the videos. So I would suggest please read every day, and also practice writing the equations and some of the concepts which we might forget if we just read and not practice those equations. We might forget, because in credit risk there are a lot of equations.
Oh, okay.
What
And those formula driven part. This formula driven part were also straightforward from the exam.
Yes,
Okay.
quant to very straightforward.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Samartha. I mean, talking to us and giving insight on the entire process of clearing. Obviously, it was a very roller coaster ride from March to August to the exam date.
Yeah. I mean, I was just waiting. I mean, just looking at the calendar, if there's any holiday, I would try to use it. That is what I was just looking for from July to November. I mean, I am actually very thankful to my current manager. I would say he just enabled me clearing the exam by just giving me support. So all the office tasks, whatever was going on, it happened very smoothly. So from that end, I did not have to bother much. I could focus on my exam, even on my holidays.
Wow. Wonderful. I mean, thank you very much, Samartha, talking to us and giving insight on the journey. This is going to be motivation for students, that people who are not being able to do consistently, prepare consistently, still they will be able to clear. If they if they last 1 or 2 months also, they're putting time, they're being in the game, in still clearing the exam. So then there is no need for them to get demotivated.
Smart plan is always better than trying to cover everything that is there. One may not cover, but I think a smart approach can help. Just one just needs to think, what is the weightage, what is the level of difficulty, is it easy, is it, I mean, so there are different modules. Each of the module, one person might find market risk easy while the other may not. So I guess this is fairly subjective, and one needs to take a call on which module to pick up from, pace that you need to and the time that one needs to spend on that body. I think it's fairly subjective.
Got
I
it.
think a smart approach should work.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. And thank you very much for joining and talking to us. And this video is going to be definitely motivating for a lot of students to clear their exam also. Even though if suppose they've deferred, they've gone to the next exam, they can still clear the exam if they do consistency in their preparation. Wonderful.
Yeah, and last thing I would just like to add that please don't try to defer. Because the seriousness comes from the day you would have paid your fees and filled up the form. That is where the actual kick starts in, that you need to read.
Oh,
You need to actually read it. Because if you would not have filled up the form, you would have always fall back कि okay, अभी ये नहीं तो मई में दे देते हैं, इसको defer करके नवंबर में दे देते हैं, we are not ready. But I think you should just face it. That is what be great rather than trying to defer. I mean, yeah, at times we might face problems where we will have to defer, but I think we should just try to give it the time
Got it.
initially decided.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Samartha. Thank you for your time.